morning sun filtered through the thick canopy of the jungle, casting dappled shadows on the ground. Anna and her unit moved in a tight formation, the dense foliage pressing in around them. It was supposed to be a routine training mission, a chance to practice navigation and survival skills in the wilderness. Anna felt the humidity cling to her skin as she glanced at her map, checking their coordinates. The jungle was alive with the sounds of chirping insects and rustling leaves. It was beautiful, but also unforgiving. She wiped sweat from her brow, adjusting her pack and staying focused on the task at hand. David, as usual, was by her side. "Keep your eyes peeled," he said with a grin. "Never know what might jump out at us." Anna smiled back, appreciating his lightheartedness. "I'll be ready," she replied, though a flicker of unease settled in her stomach. The jungle was unpredictable, and anything could happen. The unit pressed on, moving deeper into the undergrowth. The air was thick, almost oppressive, and the sounds of the jungle seemed to grow louder, more intense. Suddenly, the sky darkened, and the wind picked up, rustling the leaves in a menacing dance. Anna glanced up, frowning. "Looks like a storm's coming," she said, her voice barely audible over the rising wind. Within minutes, the sky turned an ominous shade of gray. Thunder rumbled in the distance, growing louder with each passing second. The unit leader called for a halt, his voice tense. "We need to find shelter, fast." But it was too late. The storm hit with a ferocity that took everyone by surprise. Lightning slit the sky, illuminating the jungle in stark, eerie flashes. The wind howled, whipping through the trees and sending branches crashing to the ground. Rain poured down in torrents, quickly turning the ground to mud. Chaos erupted as the unit scattered, each soldier trying to find cover. Anna called out to David, but her voice was swallowed by the roar of the storm. She stumbled through the undergrowth, her vision blurred by the sheets of rain. "David, David, where are you?" she shouted, but there was no response. Panic surged through her as she realized she was alone, separated from her unit in the heart of the storm. Anna pressed on, her steps heavy and uncertain. She tripped over roots and slipped in the mud, the rain relentless against her skin. Lightning flashed, illuminating the jungle in brief, disorienting bursts. She had to find shelter, had to find her unit, but the storm made everything a blur. Hours seemed to pass as she struggled through the wilderness. The storm showed no signs of letting up, and Anna's strength was waning. She forced herself to keep moving, driven by sheer determination. Her family had faced challenges like this, and she would too. Finally, she stumbled upon a small cave, hidden behind a curtain of vines. She pushed through the vegetation, collapsing inside with a gasp of relief. The cave was dark and damp, but it provided a refuge from the storm. She leaned against the rough stone wall, trying to catch her breath and gather her thoughts. Anna's mind raced. She was lost, alone, and cut off from her unit. She knew the jungle was dangerous, especially in this weather. She had to stay calm, had to find a way to survive until the storm passed out as the hours dragged on. Anna did her best to stay warm and dry. She used her training to create a small, makeshift shelter within the cave, using her poncho and some branches she found nearby. It wasn't perfect, but it would have to do. Her thoughts drifted to David and the rest of her unit. Were they safe? Had they found shelter too? The uncertainty gnawed at her, but she pushed it aside. She had to focus on the present, on surviving. Eventually, the storm began to subside. The rain lessened to a drizzle, and the wind died down to a gentle breeze. Anna emerged from the cave, blinking in the faint light of the setting sun. The jungle was transformed. The ground littered with fallen branches and debris. Anna took a deep breath, steeling herself for what lay ahead. She had to find her way back, had to reunite with her unit. She checked her map, trying to get her bearings. The storm had thrown everything into disarray, but she wasn't going to let it stop her. With renewed determination, Anna set off through the jungle. She moved carefully, avoiding obstacles and staying alert for any signs of her unit. Hours passed, but she pressed on, driven by a fierce resolve. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the jungle into darkness. Anna realized it was still distant to get out of jungle, and it was already getting too late. She decided to look for a safe place to spend the rest of the hours. She was trembling with a mixture of fear and hope. She had faced the storm and survived, proving her strength and determination. She knew that this experience had only made her stronger. The storm had tested her limits, but it had also revealed her resilience. Anna was ready for whatever challenges lay ahead, knowing that she had the strength to overcome them. The jungle was unforgiving, but she was unyielding. This was just another step in her journey, and she was determined.